Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 7th of September. So before we get cracking on the technicals, fundamentals today, there's nothing really significant coming out. There is of course banter going back and forth regarding Brexit today, and I think that will continue over the next week. I mean, it's going to just build up steam, I should imagine, over the next few weeks. Probably months, but for now it's back on the major focus line, and we'll see some reaction from that, I'm sure. So let's look at the technicals here now then, and well, also I should remind you it's a US and North American, including Canada there, bank holiday today, so it's Labor Day across those two markets, which would most likely see us see some quiet price action today from later on, particularly quite a price action. So technically then, euro, a couple of days of little hammer, or a doji and a little hammer, trying its best to find some sort of support around these prior lows here. Not quite that convincing, and when you look at it on the shorter time frames, come down to the 4-hourly time frames, not massively convincing at all. Had a sort of a late rally coming in on Friday there, and it's selling off again at the moment. We do have the weekly pivot above, which could be a draw there at 1880. I just need to be a bit steady this morning. It's gone quite flat here on the 60-minute chart. You just see how flat the price action currently is. It may be just one of those days that we don't get too much out of it because of the holidays, but we'll see. Just waiting. If it does break the upper side trend here, pushes above that 60-minute 500, maybe the pivots there, the weekly pivots on. We're sitting right on the daily pivot here already. Here a breakdown, well, S1 Friday's lows would be a half decent target. The pound, well, the pound will be coming under more pressure, particularly as I said with Brexit there, and we're already starting to see it rolling back down towards Friday's lows here. Break of that 21 which held on Friday, well, 34 is next, and then 50 is, so they're lining up behind these MAs to get their touch. Long time since it's been back to some of these moving averages. It was way back in July when we saw the 34 hit, and it was even earlier June-ish time when we saw the 50 last hit, so it's a couple of months. So, well, technically it's just looking, as I say, soft here, lower highs, lower lows already through, and this morning really on the Brexit sort of discussion, talks or whatever else, has softened up there. Now it's already well, it's below its daily pivot here and monthly pivot as I am speaking, and really looking, as I say, heading down towards that 60-minute 500 maybe. Just really looking for retracements to sell into on the pound this morning. In summary, dollar yen. Yen's held up a lot better. In fact, when I was looking at the sort of weightings across different currencies, and it's sort of shown as the second strongest currency, and you have to question that when it's barely moved, but it's not selling. It's just not selling off, whereas the others are taking a bit of a dip really. So it's sitting by default at the moment as the second strongest currency. Now it does have a weekly pivot below, so if it does start selling off, well, that may be a target for it. This sort of move to risk safety could be the beneficiary, or the yen could be the beneficiary of such move. So just really looking across that sort of trend line that we run across the lows there to see if we get a sort of a break. It must be below that 50.34 to have a chance of moving south. Just may be a currency to watch with others, but as a pairing such as the euro yen, etc. But I think it's probably easy just to trade it against the dollar at the moment. Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar, well, that's sold off doji on Friday there. Looking for the bounce off the 34, and it doesn't seem to be wanting to do so at the moment. And again, this sort of price action, we saw that sort of late rally coming in on Friday, well, it could all just roll back, and it's the way it's looking at the shaping up at the moment. But again, consolidation, lower volumes I should imagine we'll see today, but a break of the daily pivot may see the S1 a good opportunity to the downside. For now, remembering the Aussie is one of the stronger pairings, of course, or has been previously. Another pairing that's done pretty well was Canadian dollar. It's pulled back and it held its gains on Friday, but again, though, at the moment we're seeing it rally. High low put in amongst all of that on Friday, even though it did come back. Sorry, I see Friday, it's early in the week, we saw the higher low. It's for Ali chart. Lower high, sorry, on Friday there eventually, but pushing up quite strongly at the moment, and it's sort of more of a, looks like more upside potential at this stage as I'm watching this market. But again, looking at the bigger picture, if we were sort of drawing trend lines across these lows here, any sort of change of heart on the dollar, well, the Canadian dollar could be one that picks up quite well along with the Aussie dollar and maybe the New Zealand dollar. Okay, looking further afield, looking at S&Ps now, could see some very light volumes coming through here today. We saw the last Thursday, saw the sell-off there, bearish pivot swing, saw a follow through on Friday in that vein. Quite solid old day before we got the kickback rally, but now it's just sort of sitting there. It's got to be questionable if traders become a bit nervous and start selling. We'll see how this pans out today. Really, it may just markets, as they may just become a bit on the more nervy side, and well, we've still got a couple of months leading into the voting, etc., presidential voting, but all the same, it may become get itself into a bit more of a holding pattern leading into that. Okay, that's the S&Ps, and a quick look at gold. Gold's been tricky of late. It's just been quite choked up here, and well, you can see don't really need to come back too far to actually see what's happened. It's daily wise, it has got a bit consolidated where it is. It's getting into a range, where it is in a range. Whether it starts breaking to the downside, we'll see. Traditionally a safety margin, but it's actually sold off most of last week there, gold, and looks softer as I speak at the moment, with this sort of bigger picture that sort of went through last week and selling off this morning here as well. So okay, that's pretty much it for today. Expect a quieter afternoon, but we may get something out this morning. Things might start rolling, build up ahead of steam. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.